Start. So welcome everybody to our next cooking class. Today we're cooking some delicious Thanksgiving side dishes. My name is Joanna and I'm a dietitian at Form Health. And once a month I try to offer those classes. So I truly appreciate that you made it tonight. I know it's there are challenges with the time changes, but I'm glad that you are here. And today we'll cook, as always, we are very ambitious with our menu. We have 4 items that we'll prepare. And one of the first item would be a salad. Salad with roasted delicata squash and pomegranate seeds. Second, we'll make roasted green beans with gremolata, and I will tell you more about that. Also, we'll be preparing a parsnips puree, and for a dessert or for a little pick-me-up, we'll make a mug brownies. A very sort of silly recipe, but I've been lately making that type of snack dessert quite a bit. So I just want to share that with you. But tell me, for those who are, so the class is recorded, as I said, it will be posted in Facebook, a link to the recording, or YouTube, so you'll be able to go back. And the recipes as well had been posted on Facebook as an attachment. So if you are interested, you can go back and see the PDF attached there. There also, you can find other recipes from other previous classes, so I highly encourage you to take a look. Last year I made a also Thanksgiving cooking class, and we made a little bit different dishes, really nice. So you should take a look. So that's about recording. If you have any questions, I mean, it's a very small group, just you can ask directly, or you can post it in a chat, and Kim will moderate and will read it and let me know what questions do you have. Please ask as much as you can, and I will answer as much as I know. May not know, but we'll figure it out. Obviously, my computer is far away, so I cannot read it, so will be just more auditory today. Okay, tell me, what out of those 4 recipes that I mentioned, what are you the most excited about, and what would you likely to make it or cook, prepare it? Tell me.
I'm interested in the green beans and the salad.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lisa. Anybody else?
I would agree with her. I vote for the parsnip puree. If you guys have not eaten parsnips, you're really missing out. They are fantastic and delicious.
Thank you, Gail. See, you are one of a very few that does not need encouragement and convincing to do about parsnips, but we'll talk about it. Thank you.
We have a few other people saying, sorry, Joanna, we have a few other people saying green beans as well. They're excited to get the recipe for.
Okay. So those are classics. So nobody's excited about my mug brownies. I would say that everybody says this is what I'm looking for, but anyhow, I think Roberta might be interested in it. She anyhow.
Of course.
So let's get busy. So as you know, Thanksgiving is very special holidays. Majority of people in the United States celebrate. We get together and we share a meal, and there's a lot of sort of traditions weave into it. So each family, each table has its own sort of set of dishes. My traditions, I'm not from United States, but when I came here, I've been here 30 years, so I've been participating and also develop a certain tradition. The dishes that I always make and look forward is actually not the turkey, but it's all the side dishes and mostly vegetables, believe it or not. Maybe it's the professional deviation, but kill me. This is what it is. I love roasted vegetables. I love the green beans and salads. Actually, this is my favorite. The turkey is like, yeah, it's there, right? It's great. But food is one of that, but the main sort of reason why we get together is to be thankful, right? And so I just want you to sort of not only think about food when you get together, and delicious foods or food that you really enjoy it and you're looking forward to it, but also about sort of giving that, being grateful. And each of us has a lot to be grateful for. And I just want to point it out one little things. You need to be grateful to yourself for making the steps to sign up with form, or not only signed up with form because this is only one tool, but for making a decision to take care of yourself, your health, and improving your health. And this is, some of you, all of you actually have been working really hard on improving your health. So I want you to really think about, when you're at the table, about that aspect, and give yourself a big hug and big thank you for doing that for yourself. This is so important. That's enough about that, but also let's go back to food. So food, as I said, there's a lot of tradition sort of dishes, mashed potatoes, turkey, gravy, and other stuff, and go for it and enjoy it. But also add something, maybe something new that you would sort of not normally prepare. And a lot of dishes are sort of focused, at least for me. I love squashes, pumpkins, right? It's fall, it's abundance of those vegetables. They're wonderful source of carotenoids for our health, fiber, and also very delicious. So let's get busy and make our salad. So the first salad is going to be made of delicata squash. So I don't know if you experiment with different type of squashes, but there are probably 20 different type of winter squashes. And the most famous one is the butternut squash. Then you have acorn squash. Then you have spaghetti squash. And then you have decorative squash, very cute. And then you have delicata squash. And this is have a new cousin of butternut squash. It's a little smaller and deeper in color. So there's many kabocha and different stuff. Some of them, you can technically eat all of it. So you can eat the meat, you can eat the seeds out of that, you can clean it and roast it. The skin, sometimes, nothing will happen if you eat skin from the butternut squash. It's not, the only thing, it's not gonna be tasty, right? So peel the skin from butternut squash, but from delicata, you don't need to do that. So it's a much more delicate, as the name indicates, right? So delicata squash, you can roast really fast, and it's very tender. So the way how to, and it's usually small, comes in a sort of a smaller size, right? So it's easy. I already cut the delicata, and our recipe calls for rounds. So basically you will cut it and you will clean the inside. I went through a little shortcut and basically cut my delicata, wash them well, cut them in half, scoop the seeds, and then cut in a sort of semicircles. However you want it, this is easier. So we have our delicata cut and ready to be roasted. Roasting brings a lot of flavor, caramelizes, it's really good. So the way how we roast our squashes, we put into a hot oven, and my oven is heating up 425 degrees. And technically, you don't need to do much to it. You're just going to put a little bit of olive oil. And I have a little spray. You can use the bottle for adding a tablespoon of oil, or just you can spray it. Sometimes when I roast vegetables, I was very generous with my oil. And again, it was very tasty. However, you can add a lot of calories with the olive oil. Olive oil is super healthy. However, it's also quite heavy in calories. 1 tablespoon of olive oil has 120 calories. So if we are very generous with it, we're going to add tons of unwanted calories. So look, you don't want, if you roast any vegetables, anything, you don't want to overcrowd your tray, because if you overcrowd, they're going to steamed versus roast, right? And you want that caramelization, roasting. I might even got them a little bit of deodorant. Done. Okay, perfect. Tiny bit of salt. Not much. So this is going to the oven for like 20 minutes. Let me set it up, the timer.
Be careful.
Where's my timer?
Would you like me to set one for you?
It would be lovely. 20 minutes, we'll check it, see how things are going. So
You got it.
the delicata is roasting, ready to go. If you had the seeds, you can clean it and also roast it on the frying pan. Very, very easy. And you can eat it and add some seasonings. It's absolutely delicious. If you don't have delicata, let's say you went to the store and there's no delicata, please feel free to use butternut squash. This is my fall winter staple vegetables. I use that all the time, and it's always welcome on Thanksgiving table. So feel free to substitute, just cut me.
I think something happened to the sound.
Joanna,
I
I
don't-
can't hear you.
How about now?
Yeah.
How long you have not been hearing me?
Just after you said butternut squash.
Seriously?
It could
That
have
is
been a me error.
interesting. All right. Hopefully we'll fix. We'll not have other technical difficulties. I never know what to do with all those click Zoom, record, click here. I'm learning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, perfect. So you can substitute delicata squash and use your butternut squash. Just buy it. If you don't feel like peeling, buy it in the store, peel, chop it in a small cubes, roast it. Perfect, right? So we're going to use the roasted butternut squash, arugula, or if you want spinach. I like arugula because it has a nutty flavors. And then we're going to add pomegranate. How many of you use pomegranate? Any?
I have not.
How many of you likes to peel pomegranate? Me? No, but I do it. So it's it's interesting. You need almost like a shield to protect yourself. The juice is very potent, very healthy. If it stains, that means it's healthy. But it's basically you have to buy a bigger one, and it has a little seed. So it's not much to its seeds that are have like a pillow around it or meat around it. Very delicious, very healthy. But normally there's many different ways. If you ever wanted to entertain yourself, watch on Instagram or anywhere on something how to peel or de-seeded the pomegranate. There was a one time that I cut it in half and I got a wooden spoon and whacked that, and the seeds will come out. However, my friend said, you injuring the poor little seeds, so I stopped doing that. So I'm doing the old school, and here I'm just going to, it's a process. I'm not saying that it's, it's a 2 seconds job, but it's almost like when I was peeling my pomegranate, it's almost like a little meditative, because you go to it and it has a compartments and has that white sort of skin that you can see it, skin that sort of divides different compartments. So you just go and peel those seeds.
How do
And,
you know if a pomegranate is ripe?
oh, it's not as easy as the avocado. Then you peel the skin. I go usually for deeper color. I bought this season one, and it wasn't good. It wasn't ripe. It was sort of light pink when you open. But this one I just bought at Trader Joe's. They're beautiful, and they're very ripe, delicious. They're sort of like you bite into them, and there's a little wink into it, as I call it. But it's
Don't
so
they have them in pre-done, Joanna? I think Trader Joe's.
beautiful. Of course, you can get right now anything pre-done. I'm just showing you for entertainment. So if you feel like one night, peel your pomegranate and think about something, life passing by, you can do that. Okay. So peel your pomegranate. I'm not gonna continue. My daughter actually loves pomegranate. And one of the really cool dishes that I have a friend, she's from Iran, and she makes for Thanksgiving, we all get together, pomegranate salad. It's a pomegranate with mint, and she put olive oil and something super simple, but trust me, everybody, even the kids, love the pomegranate salad. So we're going to use it more as a part of our green salad. But if you feel like making pomegranate little salad, you can also do it just with that. So we have that ready, and we're going to have pepitas, or you can use pecans or any other stuff. I have toasted one, but you can definitely put on the frying pan and toast your pepitas. Is basically a type of pumpkin seeds. But if you have pecans, toast them in a frying pan just a little bit to get them crunchy. So we have that. We have feta cheese. If you don't like feta cheese, goat cheese would be fine. Even if you don't like sort of feta is quite sharper in a flavor, you can use a little shaved Parmesan. It would be fine as well. But the feta and the goat cheese have a little nicer flavor. So let's make, so as our thing is roasting nicely, let's make dressing. And the dressing is very, very simple. It's not much to it. You can always use, you have olive oil, something sweet, just a little bit, maple syrup or honey, your vinegar, and it could be apple cider vinegar. The recipes call it. Mine apple cider vinegar was not in a good shape, so I went for sherry vinegar. So it's a similar mild. If you have red wine vinegar, could be as well, and a little Dijon mustard. Not too much. And I often do my dressings in the jar. If I would make right away, I put in a wooden bowl and make it on the bottom, and you can add your stuff. So we need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And for this, you want to use a good olive oil, right? Because this is where the flavors are important. So good quality of olive oil. This is about, I guess it's semi good. So 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of your vinegar. I'm taking, you're not seeing that, but you can imagine, and a little bit of Dijon mustard. Just remember, Dijon mustard helps with emulsifying. So emulsifying basically means bringing it all together, right? So we have mustard, and get a little bit more zing as well for the flavor, and salt and pepper, and we'll be good to go. So see, as you can see, the dressings are not that hard. If you shake it, it will be, and guess what? I forgot the sweetener. So we're going to get just a teaspoon of maple syrup. Oh my gosh, my daughter used all my, what? I thought it was a maple syrup here. Hold on. Very little, few drops. Just enough to get us half a teaspoon. All right, I have to say goodbye to my my bottle. Okay, But the dressing is made, so the dressing will be ready when we are ready with the roasted squash. Perfect. Always smells so good. Don't you think? I love that roasting. There's another dish if you ever wanted to explore different squashes and different things. There's several recipes that I prepared last year in the fall, so you can look this up on our blog if you ever look there, or you can go to Facebook, and in the attached files you'll find something, those several great recipes. Perfect. Now we're moving to green beans. So again, green beans are very traditional part of a Thanksgiving dinner. A lot of people make green beans and mushroom soup, or fried onions. What's your green bean recipe? What's your standard? I'm curious. Anybody wants to share?
I basically, for green beans, I usually just steam them.
Uh-huh.
Usually my sister-in-law will do a casserole.
Uh-huh.
Or I'll put them like in soups or in things that I'm baking as like an added vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm intrigued with what you're going to be doing.
Okay. So I typically make actually I don't make this recipe, I have to be honest with you. I make a recipe, green beans almondines, which is from the last year I made it. It's simple, delicious recipe. This is a little bit different twist on that. It's a basically roasted green beans, which you can roast in the oven. Depends how many people, how big of your portion you prepare, or I'm going to roast in an air fryer. So it's again quick. If you have the capacity for oven, go roast in the oven a larger quantity. If you feel like it's sort of a 1 pound would be enough in an air fryer. But the tricks of green beans are great, right? Not much flavor-wise, very sort of mild flavor. Most people like to eat green beans. But the trick to it is what you put on top of it, right? Plain or saute or steam are perfectly fine, but to get a little bit more excitement about the beans, we're going to make a gremolata. And gremolata is basically Italian name for certain types of seasonings, which will contain parsley, generally lemon zest, and garlic. We're gonna add a little Parmesan for an extra, and we'll sprinkle on the green beans when they're done, and sprinkle some almonds, because why not? We like to make it festive. So
Sorry, Joanna. Someone in the chat is saying that they cook their green beans with olive oil and garlic, which is something my family does as well.
Absolutely great way of preparing. Olive oil, garlic, cannot go wrong with that. Absolutely. But my other sort of day-to-day recipes that I make is, and I made it for one of the cooking class, is the Asian spicy green beans with sriracha and sesame oil. Fabulous. So quick, in 10 minutes in the air fryer, so good. So I'm just adding a little bit of oil to the green beans, and also tiny bit of salt. If you feel like you are watching your sodium, skip the salt. The gremolata will be plenty enough. So I'm going to put that in an air fryer, and my air fryer is, just a regular, I don't know, I'm gonna bring it to you, but it's the least expensive I could find a few years ago, and I use it all the time. So I'm going to put my beans for roasting. So very different way of eating them, right? 375. And I'm going to, oh yeah, hold on. Okay, 375, we're going to roast for 12 minutes, but I set it up that halfway point, we're going to check it out, shake it, shake it, shake it, because as you know, the air fryer sometimes has a hotter spot, so just mix them in would be very nice. So they are roasting, and let's make our fancy gremolata. And actually for Thanksgiving, every year I do make gremolata, and when I roast my root vegetables such as parsnip, butternut squash, Brussels sprouts, not the root vegetables, but Brussels sprouts, and also carrots, I roast them in the oven just like we roast this delicata squash, and I put over the gremolata. I'm telling you, it will change your world. You'll be like, Joanna, thank you for showing me that or telling me about it. Your little Thanksgiving secret dish or ingredients. So please try that for sure. So gremolata, again, I have Italian parsley from my garden. Still plenty despite today's snow. So a quarter cup of parsley. So I'm going to get rid of that thicker stems. By the way, if you ever buy too much parsley, make sure that you chop it and you put it in, you can put it in a freezer, like a Ziploc or a little container. So I'm chopping my parsley. You will see how simple that is. So parsley is chopped. We're going to mix it together. And then garlic. Just 2 cloves of garlic, nothing to it. I'm gonna do a little smashy so it can release and easy to be chopped. So I'm going to do so it's really a lot of flavor, especially when you put on the warm roasted vegetables. It sort of activates the lemon, the garlic, and the parsley gets really, really fragrant. And if you really want to add that Parmesan, good Parmesan, this is also a very nice twist to it. However, if you are, for some reason, are not big friend with dairy product, you can skip that. And all right, so I have my parsley, I have my garlic chop, and then I'm going to zest a lemon, which I grow. I have to brag about it. This year I had a little lemon tree, and I got, I think, 6 lemons, so this is one of them. So I'm zesting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have this tool, please put it on your wish list for holiday season, whatever. You need to have that, because that will, even you can zest anything with ease. You can grate your ginger, you can grate your garlic, you can grate your Parmesan on it. So it's one of the must-have tools. I already went through my life, I think, through 3 of them, because they get dull, especially when you put them in a dishwasher. Try not to do it, but sometimes my husband does not get the message and puts it in a dishwasher. But they're not expensive. They're like around maybe $12, $14 maybe. So we have a lemon zest, we have that parsley, and we're gonna add the Parmesan. So the Parmesan, if you're super fancy, you go and get yourself a nice piece of Parmigiano Reggiano, a really good quality. It's very flavorful, it's aged, it will give you a lot of flavor. You can buy graded, which is sort of like a few steps down, but it will work. Try to avoid anything in that sort of shaken cans. They are usually the worst quality of Parmesan. They will put it in, and it's just not worth. All five. All right, shake it, shake it, shake it. I'm gonna go a little longer with that. And let me check on our squash. It's
Oh, that's the second one. That's the 20-minute timer.
We need a few more minutes. The recipe calls for 30 minutes, so I feel like, well, let's take a look. You can be the judge. So it looks pretty. Oi. Oi. I want that to be a little bit more caramelized. Since I have it here, what I could do, I did have all this here. You can flip it for extra. It's a lot of work though. But you could, because the other side is caramelized more. So I guess depends on your setting of your oven. I'm using this is not the kitchen that I normally operate, so that's why it can get. I'm not as familiar, right? But in your own kitchen, you know exactly. I would say it's almost ready, but if we get another, actually, you know what, on the back, because it's definitely cooked, but I want that, it's maybe the light is bright, I want that caramelization, that little brownie on it. So maybe 5 minutes, 3? And put for 3 minutes. So
You
we
got
don't
it.
burn
3 minutes.
That's fabulous. Let's get going. Someone will keep the time because I am a chatty catty, and you know, one goes by and we're still in the woods. Okay. So this is basically a gremolata, so I'm going to add some Parmesan to it and mix it in. So again, this is a very simple concept, but you can put it on top of the soups or anything roasted, and it will elevate your flavors several notches. I also add a little bit of lemon to it. Good. Done. So our green beans will be, after roasting, will be dressed with sprinkled gremolata and a little bit of sliced almond for a crunch. That's it. However, if you were looking for a little bit different type of a green bean recipe, please check out that green beans, almondine, and it's with lemon as well and almonds, but it is absolutely fabulous. They both are delicious, so don't get me wrong. All right, perfect. So we have almost things going. What's the time?
It is 7:34.
Easy peasy. We have our desserts and all the other stuff. All right, so before we get to, actually no, let me start on our parsnips puree. So parsnips are a good cousin of carrot. Oh, cooling as well, believe it or not. So it's seen it. I'm sure you've seen it. So, it's actually quite delicious. It's so sweet. It's sort of like carrot. I often include with my roasting vegetables in Thanksgiving dish with the gremolata, or I just roast it by itself. It's so sweet. It roasts quickly, You can eat it raw, obviously, but roasting brings a little nice sweet flavor. So we're not going to do that. And you've seen in your recipe on the back, I included a few benefits of 5 benefits of parsnip. So rich in insoluble fiber. Each of you have heard many, many
Sorry,
times.
that's your squash timer.
We don't want to burn it. We don't want to burn it. Thank you. Okay. Turn it off. Okay, perfect. And the beans. It's interesting, the beans are cooking and the beans need they don't need anything, they're done. Let me just see if it's absolutely perfect. So it's a unique way of cooking your beans. You can see here, there are a little bit, it's hard to see. You know, when you're roasting, they have a little blistering thing. So beans are very mild, this flavor-wise, right? It's not a strong flavor, but I would say you try it tomorrow for lunch or for dinner. And if you make the gremolata, you can use it for other stuff. Okay, let's make it nice.
What are some other things you could use it on?
The gremolata?
Yes.
Use on soups also.
Ooh.
The soup, just sprinkle a little bit. I'm telling you, it's such a simple concept, but that marriage of a garlic and lemon out of this world. I mean, right?
Yeah,
You agree?
I do agree. I just haven't thought to ever make one.
Plus the. So I'm going to, again, maybe it does not look so yummy, but it is. I'm going to sprinkle that. And also, so it's not a, okay, this light is a little bit, but you can see it's, I will take a few pictures later on so you can enjoy looking at Facebook somewhere. But it's a very simple, again, the aroma of warm vegetable with a little garlic and the lemon zest with touch of Parmesan really bring, it's like perfumey for, it will be smelling for a long time here in a good way, So perfect. So let's go back to our parsnips. So parsnips are really high in fiber, and I'm sure all of you heard that generally if we our diet or our meals should be higher in protein and higher in fiber because of the effect of fullness when we eat. So fiber, it's a wonderful way to increase the satiety. Adding more produce, more vegetables, fruits, whole grains to it, it will, with higher fiber content, it's increase the fullness, or so we don't have to snack after 2 minutes after eating a meal. So think about, and fiber is also such a great friend for anybody who has GI issues. There are a few people who fiber might not be recommended for a while, but people who deal with SIBO and other stuff, but this is not the topic, but generally the recommendations for healthy nutritionists include a lot of fiber into your diet. So that's one. Also, well, may help. So it's not really high in carbohydrates. I mean, here, if you think half a 9-inch parsnip, so one, it's a 60 calories and has a 15 grams of carbs, and out of that is 4 grams of of fiber, so quite high in fiber. So, but again, adds a lot of flavor. So fiber, flavor, satiety, and also has a lot of antioxidant. If you there's a compounds like a certain types of phytochemicals that has been shown to prevent or negatively affect cancer. So again, it's difficult to say that one particular compound will make us super healthy, but generally the recommendation is eat variety of fruits and vegetables because each of them have a different offering. So so parsnips have different flavonoids, polyphenols that are very beneficial to us. Falcarinol, which is the polyphenol both in parsnip and carrots, protects from fungal infections. Interesting. And even though it's decreased during cooking quite a bit, so when you cook, it goes to water. If you roast, it stays in. But whatever is left over of that compound, it helps increase serotonin. So it makes you feel good. It feels relaxed. So it's eat your parsnip to relax. And also it's a good source of vitamin C, and I think it's also folate, so generally immune function and so on. But be open to experiment with parsnips. If today we're going to make the parsnip puree, and I got the idea from when I saw a post of what Ina Gardner is cooking for Thanksgiving, and this was on one of her must-do. I don't know if you know Ina Gardner. She's a famous chef. Actually, she owned, I think, a sort of like a bakery or some kind of small restaurant establishment, and she became very famous and published so many cookbooks. So if you ever wanted to cook something amazing, look at her recipes. Not all of them are low fat and full of protein, but some of them are really, really good. Often when I want to make something special, I will go to, I have several of her books and look it up. So she's, so look her up if you don't know her. She made a lot of appearance in a different cook shows when Food TV was doing the cooking shows, sort of true. Right now it's all other type of entertainments, but anyhow, so she makes that for Thanksgiving often, and it's a very simple dish. Basically, she boils the cut up parsnips, and so I cut up the parsnips in a small pieces. I'm going to add into the water a little salt and cook that, and afterwards we'll puree it in a food processor with a little bit of cooking water and add a little bit of butter. So it's not much to it. There are other recipes. You can put Parmesan, you can add other stuff, but this is sort of like as simple as it gets, but still it's delicious. So I am going to add the parsnips and cover them with water and start cooking them. Okay. Perfect, and let's add a salt to it. I have the induction stove here, and I'm always a little nervous if it's going to work or not. So our parsnips are cooking. Hopefully, they will be done. All right, we are ready to address our next dish, or finish our next dish, our salad. So I have here a bag of arugula. We're going to put, and it's pre-washed, so easy peasy, right? We have that. I have my authentic Greek feta. That's what I bought at Trader Joe's. And I'm going to, this is a little cooler, so I'm going to place that on my salad. I think even for Thanksgiving last year, I made a similar salad, roasted, but I think I use butternut squash. I don't know, maybe I couldn't get the delicata. But if you go to any restaurants right now, like the elegant restaurants, you definitely will find a delicata on the menu. It's sort of like the seasonal, show off in some way. So, and it's an easy cook vegetable because you don't have to squash. You don't have to peel it. So, someone told me it's all about display, and I'm not sure if I'm really super elegant about that. We have our pepitas, why not? Great source of zinc, by the way. You can call that as your aphrodisiac. So this is sort of off subject, but oysters considered to be aphrodisiac, and tell you why, because they are great source of zinc. And well, you can find zinc in other things, in pumpkin seeds. So eat your pumpkin seeds and feel amazing. I guess that's more for a male. So I have my last piece of feta, and I'm just going to crumble. I will have to eat it tonight, huh? Salad never keeps well. All right, perfect. Our salad is just about to be done. We just need to oh my God, this looks so good. I wish you didn't see all the mess.
It looks like
It's far away and you don't see it. Again, I will take pictures of that gorgeous pomegranate roasted delicatas salad, and I encourage you to recreate that when for Thanksgiving, or even not for Thanksgiving.
it looks beautiful.
Okay, so we have this. I'm going to push this. In 1 hour, how much time do we have, Kim?
It's 12 minutes to 8 o'clock.
We need to do our desserts.
We
Thank God, it takes only few minutes to make. That's what I selected. I've been making at my afternoon break for a little pick-me-up sweetness. But before we go to that, I just want to very quickly sort of talk about the strategies for Thanksgiving meal, how to avoid sort of that Thanksgiving coma, right? Part of it, it's start thinking about it right now. How do you want to feel at the end of the day? Do you want to be sleeping on the couch, or do you want to feel energized, invigorated, and full of energy? So you can sort of imagine already what you need to do. Don't go, depends what you do. Are you planning at your house? Are you hosting, or are you going somewhere? If you're going somewhere, bring dishes that you would like. Maybe you won't make those beautiful salad and you bring as a contribution. So think about bringing healthy stuff that you can enjoy as well. Don't go too hungry. Don't save your sort of calories for the dinner, because everything, be off all your plans of eating this and that, it's going to not exist, because you'll be hungry, but it will require a lot of food. So be mindful. My little trick is, and this is not for Thanksgiving because we are going and spending the Thanksgiving with friends for a couple of days, but if I go out or something to a restaurant, I will have a, believe it or not, protein shake before I go, or a cup of yogurt. to sort of take away the hunger. So by the time I get to the meal, I can make a decision what I want. So think about the day. Also, don't strategize what you want to eat. Remember the order of eating. Fill your plate with a lot of vegetables first. So don't drink your calories, the wine and the other stuff, or be mindful, moderate about that. So maybe start with 2 glasses of water, hydrate yourself, and then go for the salads, go for the vegetables, for the sides, and have your protein, and then have your delicious mashed potatoes, but maybe keep it to a smaller portion, and wait for the desserts. Again, think about how you want to feel after at the end of the day. You will have me sitting on your shoulder, left shoulder, and whispering like, you want to feel fabulous, just don't overdo it. So the mindfulness, bring it back. Also, I would highly recommend to go for a walk. Depends what time is your meal, but be active. Don't think that this is the time to completely, you can relax. It's recommended to relax and enjoy the dinner. Also, keep in mind that Thanksgiving is not all about food. It's all about interactions with your family, with your friends, where you go. So it's much more to it than just food. I always tell people when, we go to the party, you are not invited because of your fabulous abilities to eat food, but you're invited because they want you to be there. You're a nice person. They want to interact with you. So keep that in mind. Socialize, interact, talk to people. Don't just only focus on the food. Those are a few tips, and there are more tips in the handout. So take a look at that. All right. Now, time for the dessert. So it's not a Thanksgiving dessert by any means, but something that I have been making lately. And all right, we're going to, we might not be able to finish our parsnips on the okay, they're cooking. Okay, so the mug cake is very simple and silly recipe that I found somewhere and experimented with it. And it takes 1 minute to cook it and probably 1 minute to prepare. You need some kind of protein powder. So whatever you like, as you can see, I have those. You might be familiar with those. This is my fave. This is really good too. I usually use chocolate, but you can use vanilla, you can use whatever flavor you have. Since we're making brownie, I'm going to stick with the chocolate, right? All right, so scoop of those. 1 scoop. You use other type, whatever type it will work. And for this particular one, a tablespoon of flour, whatever. If you're gluten-free, use coconut flour, use almond flour. If you are okay with regular flour, use regular flour. So we have a flour, and I'm going to mix it. We want chocolatey, right? So we're going to go with a cocoa. And I'm generous with my cocoa. I like chocolate. All right, so we have a chocolate. We're going to mix it in. And we're going to add a little bit of half a teaspoon of baking powder. So as you can see, it's like I often literally just run downstairs, make it in, and eat it for my afternoon snack. This recipe has around, if you make it the whole thing, around 200, maybe 80 calories and like 30 grams of fiber, so protein. So it's a very protein heavy. Perfect. So we have our dry ingredients. You can put a pinch of salt if you like it. But let's make a wet ingredients and milk, whatever milk you have. I've been buying the Fairlife, which has more protein, but you don't need to. I'm going to go with quarter cup. So if you want your brownies a little bit more chewy, wet, you can go with half a cup. So quarter cup, and I'm going to add even on top of it an egg. And I know it's not a Thanksgiving flavor, but I'm going to add peppermint to it. My daughter bought a regular cocoa at Trader Joe, and it was a peppermint and it smelled good. So I decided, why not? So we have our, it smells actually good, our wet and dry. And just mix again. So you could add, if you want a little cinnamon, if you want pumpkin pie flavor, if you want, I don't know, what would you want? Peppermint, vanilla, anything. So technically this I will put in a mug, big mug, and 1 minute in the microwave. That's it. So it's a very, very simple. I just want to mix it well. So here it is. Not much to it, right? I have 2 ramekins, so I'm going to, I've never done ramekins, but because I don't want, okay. You could make that and leave it, you can bake it as well. But I feel like microwave is so much easier, right? Just nervous that it's going to overgrown. Might be it's too small ramekins. I usually use, even I will use the measuring cup and put it in that. It just doesn't look pretty, right? All right, perfect. Done with this. So let's microwave it 1 minute. So ramekins done. I put a little bit of baking spray. It depends on your microwave. It could be a little longer or a little, usually a little longer, or depends on the size. So we'll see. You can experiment with it, but taste is pretty good. It's like, you know, if you want just something, sometimes you know, pick me up, this would be a great thing. Also another, oh, you know what, I forgot adding chocolate chips on top of it. Boo boo. You do that, don't forget that. Other things that I have been experimenting is with, some of you, as you know, we have been start carrying a meal replacements, new directions. It's a sort of medical grade of meal replacements, and we have different packages. So if you're interested, you can talk to the dietitians to sort of explore that. You can buy the whole kit, or you can buy just one and see if it's, let's see. Let's put it, so you can see it's a set on the outside. I don't know if you can see it. And it's a little chewy still. I would put another 20 minutes. Hold on. I need my reading glasses. I know. Clear on 30 seconds. Okay, so that should be good. But also I made today with the new directions chocolate beverages fiber, and you don't need to add egg. Literally just open it up, put a little bit of, I put baking powder and milk, and you can use water even, like a quarter cup or half a cup, depends on consistency. And you can put it in a microwave, or you can also bake in the oven. So whichever you prefer. The same you can do baking in the oven, but I like the microwave because it's like if you want something, you want now.
I agree.
So so I use that, and sometimes I will put a cinnamon, sometimes I will put a little bit of coconut. So all the adding, sometimes if you want a few crushed nuts or a few chocolate chips, again, it's not going to add so many calories, but adds a little bit of flavor, different texture, so a little bit more interest. So if any of you are thinking about doing the meal replacements, you can definitely use them. You can make you can also make waffles out of this. You can make muffins out of this. In the cookbook, there's a sort of a recipes for it.
Someone is saying, thank you so much. We'll definitely be trying some of these recipes. Happy holidays.
So whoever wants to go, needs to go, thank you so much for participating, and see you next time. Hopefully you can join me. So we have our things, and
Happy holidays, Joanna.
thank you, same to you. And I will finish the parsnips later. So it's cooked. We're just going to puree it in a food processor. And
Many are saying thank you so much in the chat.
thank you, thank you. Any questions for anybody?
Oh, thank you. I think you did a really good job, Joanna.
Thank
So I'm
you.
going to try some of them. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You could help me with the chocolate brownies.
I know they look delicious.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for a wonderful class.
All right.
Bye.